birds flying high. You know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
At 18,000 revolutions per minute, this isn't music. This is the scream of science. This is the inner world of pneumatic valve springs, of mean effective pressure, 300 brake horsepower per liter of displacement. The quest for the perfect four-stroke V8 naturally aspirated reciprocating engine. And in the middle of the hot metal, the carbon, the alloy technology, sits flesh and blood. Rising out of its carbon fiber monocoque, the coolest head. These are the eyes that can pick out a face in the crowd, as if motion were being slowed down. Not passing in a blur at 200 miles per hour. This is the pure mathematics of angles and aerodynamics, the physics of G-forces and friction, and the raw instinct to race. These are the masters of speed.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Folks, we are here for the Relevant Truck Series here on the NASRA 360 Racing Network, and you haven't missed a thing. Every single one of these drivers getting ready to head out here on pit road, fixing to get lined up, and there you see the grid. We'll talk about the race here in just a little bit, but obviously want to get the grid out here. Mike George is going to be on the pole with Jeremy Gardner in the 42. Will start in that second spot. Andy Kurtz will be third with Jake Ellenson fourth. Timothy Williams will be fifth. Peyton Hubbard is going to be sixth. James Kaufman seventh. Craig Bontrager will start in the 8th spot with James Goshen ninth, and Sam Milliken is in that 10th spot. That rounds out the top 10. Chance Taylor, Jeremiah Holt, Johnny Cofield, Brandon Wallace, Matt Knights, John Anthony, Mark Hollifield, and Keith Haney, the 18 trucks here for the Relevant Truck Series here with Goat Locker. Folks, I am the Redneck Announcer. Jake Reeves, got the Australian Dean Biggles here at Texas Motor Speedway, one of the, honestly, one of the most badass racetracks, literally on the iRacing service, and honestly, probably in the real racing. But Dean, how are we doing, buddy? I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks. What have you been up to?
Sorry, yeah, the regular thing that I do, my friend, broadcasting, commentating, all that sort of jazz. For different series and things like that going around. But guess what, my friend? It's time to go racing.
We are green flag racing here with the Relevant Truck Series with Goat Locker. Mike George gonna see if he can jump up in front of Jeremy Gardner in the 42. Andy Kurtz, obviously, he has been dominant here this summer series with Goat Locker. He knows how to get it done. Gardner gets loose. Andy Kurtz gonna try to get a run down the inside. Now here comes Jake Ellenson. Thought about trying to take it 3 wide, thinks differently. You jump right in behind Jeremy Gardner, but Mike George trying to run a little bit to the top side as they work their way off turn 4, trying to complete lap 1.
Jeremy Gardner and Andy Kurtz going for it too, but not like they were last night again. So good, Mike George, of course, good to get it on pole there so he can kind of lead this pack around. We have 79 laps remaining, so it should be good to go all green, as you can see. The Gladiators have got off to a good start so far.
Yeah, absolutely they have. And one thing about this right here, Dean, obviously they're going to make one pit stop, really, is all they're really going to have to make. They will be able to stretch it, make one pit stop, or they could try to do a little bit different sometimes, I guess you could say, Dean. Sometimes we try to see them go with 2 pit stops, but I don't believe that is going to happen. But from what we're seeing right here, top 5 drivers literally starting to pull away. There you see Craig Bontrager all by him is lonesome literally back here. And then Timothy Williams, he's in a straight up stack up with everybody else. But the top 5 right now, Mike George, Jeremy Gardner, Andy Kurtz, Jake Ellenson, Peyton Hubbard, they're trying to see if they can make it a 5-horse race very, very early on here in this race.
It's all about that getting that momentum going. Currently, as you can see from the drivers, getting a feel for it, get the temperature in the tyres, which they have currently at the moment. Going line of stone, what do you reckon, when do you think they're going to start going two abreast there, Jacob? Anytime soon, do you think, or they're still just working on it?
Well, hell, I'm already watching a couple of them diving back there. Honestly, right now, I mean, Chance Taylor back there in the 14. He's trying to get himself down to the inside, try to get around Timothy Williams. He will take that spot to take Chance Taylor up a spot. He goes from 11th all the way up to 10th. One driver that is dropping back big time is the driver that he just passed, that being Chance Taylor. He got around Timothy Williams. Williams started 5th. He has moved all the way back to 11th. So a very big mess right now with Timothy Williams starting to slide back. But there you see Jake Ellenson right in front of Peyton Hubbard in that number 7. Peyton Hubbard, honestly, Dean, he's been one of those new guys. We haven't really talked about Peyton Hubbard much, but obviously didn't run last season, but came in with the summer series here with the relevant truck series here with Goat Locker. He's been doing a fantastic job so far this season, and right now, prime position, trying to get himself another top 5.
He just had the fastest lap before there and gaining back there of Jake. But it's backed off a little bit currently at the moment, and as you can see, there's the top 4 that started to split away from Craig Bontrager. I'll get it right. A few times I messed it up last night there as well. But good to be back in the booth with you, Jacob. Exactly. So you had your little vacation as well too. Recently. Yeah, we had a little vacation. Obviously had to deal with a little bit of heat, and right now one driver starting to heat it up a little bit. That's Jake Ellingson. He's going to be able to get around Andy Kurtz, but at what point? I mean, him and Andy was kind of battling it out right there for that 3rd spot, but that has opened the door wide open for Mike George and Jeremy Gardner. Both of them starting to pull away about a second, give or take, over Jake Ellenson. And now Gardner, he's had enough. He's going to try to dive down to the inside of the 29 of Mike George. The number 42, Jeremy Gardner, obviously been very, very fast. It doesn't make a damn what he drives, Dean. He knows what he is doing. He knows how to get the passes, and that's exactly what happens. Jeremy Gardner, your new leader here at Texas. He likes the inside apron, and he's very kind on his tires. He was spoiler alert, last night's winner as well too for the ARCA series. So he's and speaking to him, he's just very, very gentle, easing out. Just takes care of the car, takes care of the tires. Tires, of course, are most important. But these two at the moment, my friend, it looks like they've got some Premier setups set up for them, aren't they? These two machines sponsored by Premier Setups, getting the job done. I know you use them too. They're one of my main sponsors on the NASRA network. Absolutely. I mean, awesome to see the Premier Racing setups rocking and rolling up here, and Gardner is able to get it going. George still trying to see if he can reel in Gardner. Check it out back here in the back. A little bit too far back, or a little bit not too far back, I should say. But, I mean, they're straight up a damn hornet's nest back here. As that's Johnny Cofield getting loose off of 2. Almost went 3 wide. Haney and Kaufman able to get by. Now here comes the 99 of Brandon Wallace going around the outside of Johnny Cofield. Holy hell, Cofield really almost ended up losing it right there. And we're also seeing somebody out there in the live chat, obviously related to Johnny Cofield, that being Jonathan Cofield, his son. And obviously he's sitting there saying that Hubbard is a good driver as well, but he's also saying, tell Dad, stay out of the damn wall. He's got to get out of the wall. Don't hit the wall, Johnny. Buy some flowers first. Johnny, be good. These drivers are battling it. Not too much at the front is happening, and he's still on the back there of Jake. Jake's currently in the P3 position, as Andy's dropped back to that P4. But this is the Hornet's Nest, or the Dingo's Cave, as you like to say there, Jacob. Yeah, I don't know about the dingoes. Still can't figure anything out as far as the dingoes go. But yeah, I mean, it is a hornet's nest 9 ways to Sunday. You got Chance Taylor right here with Keith Haney. Both of those drivers battling it out. And then you got Jeremiah Holt back here kind of stacking up. Kaufman just a little bit. Haney down to the inside. Taylor up top and trying to see if he can make it work. Now Holt's going to try to see if he can get clear of Kaufman. Right in front of him. Haney still down to the inside, trying to make this pass work. Obviously, the inside lane is the more preferred line, I guess you could say, Dean, because this track has went through a little bit of a reconfiguration
way back in the day, turn 1 and turn 2 and turn 3 and turn 4 basically were banked the same. And they were very, very steep where you could see a lot of serious speed. Now, turn 1 and 2, not as steep as you would see 3 and 4 now. And obviously, turn 1 and 2, very, very wide, but still, that bottom lane that you've seen Keith Haney, as he is right there in the 67, running it right down on the bottom of the racetrack, Dean, that is where you want to be when you're going through turn 1 and 2.
And that's where currently Jeremy likes to be, actually, as well. You can see the banking elevation changes, so it's got to do it from the gyro cam. As you can see, it's not as obviously crazy as you mentioned that it was prior in the past.
Yeah, I mean, that was some good stuff, obviously, back in the day. I mean, you know, I've heard a lot of fans and a lot of drivers would prefer the old Texas before it was reconfigured, or in iRacing's case, the legacy Texas, which is what we hear all the time. Is actually, we're seeing a little battle right here for that third spot. Andy Kurtz, Jake Ellingson, trying to see if they can make it up there at that podium spot, see if they can try to maybe talk to us here in give or take about another 60 laps. We'll see how all this battling happens. Kurtz is able to get by Ellingson, and that may open the door for Peyton Hubbard up here as well. Literally 5 drivers have straight up checked out. Gardner's starting to check out on Mike George. Kurtz and also Ellingson sitting there 3rd and 4th, and Hubbard sitting in 5th, and then you literally got to go back, no joke, to about another second back. That's where you'll see Craig Bontrager, and then after that, it's about 2 seconds back, and literally that's where the damn Hornet's Nest is, with Goshen, Milliken, Haney, and Taylor being the top 10.
Yeah, and you get back to the Hornet's Nest here at the moment. Yeah, exactly. All by himself, isn't it, Paul Craig? He's probably sitting there wondering, hey, am I connected to the session here? Can I see the other cars down the road? He can't just see them there. It's a huge gap, but once again, Andy Kurtz and Jacob going for it. Jake and the Jacobs.
Jake's trying. I mean, he's doing all he can right there. And Hubbard really seeing if he can maybe work up on the top side, maybe try to see if he can throw him off. Here goes Ellingson. Ellingson slides up the racetrack. Here comes Hubbard. Hubbard's going to get a run off of turn number 2. And that may be all she wrote, at least for now, for that 4th spot is Hubbard down to the inside. Ellingson is up top. Hubbard gets a little bit loose going through 3 and 4. Ellingson slides the wall coming off of turn 4, but he's able to keep it straight. That could have been very detrimental, I guess you could say, for Jake Ellingson, as the battle is on for second. Hell, it was on for second. It's already passed. Andy Kurtz gets around Mike George for second.
And his deja vu of yesterday as well, too. Eddie Kurtz wants to make sure he gets up the road there and try to catch Jeremy from running away with this one. Mike George, of course, our pole sitter. And I forgot to mention as well, too, my friend, of course, our pole sitter is sponsored by one only, then the Big Fish. We forgot to give him the Big Fish Barbecue Pole Award.
Yeah, Dean, I mean, honestly, Big Fish Barbecue, that's an awesome sponsor, to be honest with you. That one's kind of out there. So proud to have Big Fish Barbecue being the sponsor for the Pole Award here with the Relevant Truck Series here presented by Goat Locker. I've never tried fish barbecue, as we got a little bit of action back here. Mark Hollifield getting up into the fence. Very, very slow. We're seeing Hollifield right here. Gets loose off of 4, tries to straighten it out, and then by then he already gets in the grass, and then bam, straight into the quad oval. Slams it straight into the wall, but no caution yet on the Speedway, and Hollifield gets in the wall once again. But, like I said, no caution on the Speedway yet. As you see the 00 of John Anthony, he's going down pit road now.
Yeah, maybe just electing to do that different strategy, unless he had a bit of a tango with the fence. I don't see anything on the telemetry, but we know that Mark did. We saw that. But because Mark was running plump last, he didn't have any effects of any of the other cars behind him causing any issues. Although they'll be probably lapping pretty quickly at the moment, as Peyton's going to put one on Mark, our pole sitter, Mike George, trying at least, as Jake will climb back into that party that he was participating in before, if he can keep it out of the fence and let these two go for it tooth and nail. And is that Craig in the background? Craig has slowly caught them, chipped away. Chip by chip, inch by inch, getting the job done.
Well, Dean, you were talking about, the party, and honestly, I think Craig Bontrager might have slid in there. Obviously, Jake Ellingson, he might have brought the beer to the party, but I think Bontrager might have brought the whiskey to the party. And obviously, right here in Texas, cowboy up. I think that's what Bontrager may be thinking his cowboy up here at the 1.5 mile racetrack here at Texas. So he might have brought the whiskey to the party. And this may end up being a 4-horse race for that 3rd spot as George still trying to hold off Hubbard. Ellenson not too far back. Now George is going to slide up. Almost slaps it into the fence and almost comes down into Hubbard. Hubbard's going to get a run on the inside. Ellenson with a hell of a run. Bigger run than Hubbard had. George is going to lose 2 spots and go from 3rd all the way back to 5th. And now Hubbard's got to watch his rearview mirror because Jake Ellenson really starting to put some pressure now on Hubbard. And George may end up putting pressure on Ellenson, but don't count out Bontrager as you're riding on board with him. He may end up fooling all 3 of them and maybe show them what it's like.
Yeah, what a move there from Jake, getting a 2-for-1 special. So, almost 2-for-1 special, but anyway. Yeah, Craig's going to be sitting there just slowly monitoring that one in the background. There's a second gap. So Jeremy's up the road. There he is. There's Andy, a second behind that. And then, of course, this 3-way party, 4-way party now. Further back, we've got Jemiah Holt, Brandon Wallace, and Johnny Caulfield. They're kind of really bunched up as well, too. They're running back, as you can see, on your leaderboard. And Mark Caulfield, of course, is a couple laps down. John Anthony, that early pit stop, not quite sure why. It's 15 seconds stationary in the box, my friend. So that should just be regular fuel and tyres. He'd be a lap down.
Well, I mean, Dean, everybody's got their own strategy that they got to try to do. Wow, we're seeing right there, I believe that's Jeremiah Holt. Very, very slow right there for just a second when they went into turn number 1 right there. Thought he might have made a little bit of contact with Brandon Wallace, but Wallace never touched him. I think Jeremiah may have got a little bit scared right there. Might have just got thrown off a little bit. Let's not say he was scared, Dean. We're not going to go that far. I'll tell you one guy, he ain't scared. Bontrager gets around George. He is starting to reel these boys in. Bontrager might have just said, you know what, y'all go up there and burn your stuff up, son. I may have something for you here in a little bit. So Jake Ellison and Peyton Hubbard, they better watch the back door. Bontrager's coming.
That's what I was thinking as well, too. Maybe Mike George is just backing off a little bit, going, okay, yeah, I'm definitely chewing through these tyres, and if we continue to stay green like this, then he might have the benefit later on. Depending. You see that from some drivers sometimes. Well, Mike George is going in. So maybe he said, nah, I am having enough of these tyres. I'll get some fresh boots on and see if these boots are made for walking.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out, see how this strategy works out for Mike George, obviously your pole sitter here tonight. And we're seeing a lot of you out there in live chat. Shout out to all 15 of you. Let us know in the comments who you pulling for, who you think is going to get the win. We're also seeing a little bit out here, will they finish with under 7 cautions? I got a damn good feeling they're going to finish with under 7 cautions from what it looks like, because the past couple of races, Dean, we've already seen with the Relevant Truck Series here with Goat Locker. They've been doing a fantastic job here as of late. Obviously, it was a very, very rocky start, but eventually everything started playing out in their favor, and everything started to get clean, and we started seeing some fantastic races. Obviously, with the Legacy Atlanta race here with the Truck Series, they done a fantastic job, hell of a finish. Matter of fact, it was Gardner and Kurtz, both of them running 1-2, and I'll say this, Kurtz is starting to reel in very slowly. Jeremy Gardner, he had it at about a second a while ago. Now he's got it to give or take about a half a second. There you see it right there on the left side, the interval right there. Gardner had it at a second. Now he's actually at 0.2 of a second, so might have slipped a little bit. But, you see the battle in back here with Brandon Wallace trying to see if he can get up here and get him some James Kaufman. But this sucker ain't over yet, not by a long shot, Dean.
Chance Taylor going into pit road. We're going to start seeing some of these drivers go into pit road there. Get some freshies on. Brandon Wallace and James Kaufman, as you mentioned here, been going for it 2 for 10th and 11th. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that leaderboard as well, too, to see if Kurtz can try to chip away slowly more at Jeremy Gardner. And, of course, we're reading through the chat as well, too. Thank you much again for supporting. It just feels like that, we feel like we're all a big community and family, aren't we, when people are engaging out there in the audience and giving us a bit of a shout-out there. Mr. Caulfield out there, I think, who are you going for? Jeremy, right? You wouldn't be going for Johnny Caulfield, would you? Of course, family member, of course he would be. Johnny's down there in P13 at the moment, holding on strongly. 4 drivers have been down a pit road, and they've all been lapped once they've been down a pit road too, Jay.
Ooh, Kaufman, this is going to get good back here. Kaufman trying to see if he can try to keep it straight. Wallace trying to see if he can get around as well. It could have got really crazy right there, but now Wallace will end up getting around Kaufman, I should say. And like you said, Dade, I mean, obviously, Jonathan Cofield, if he don't pull for Johnny Cofield, there's going to be a lot of crap going on right there in the middle of that. So they're obviously going to be pulling for one another. Why wouldn't they at this point? There you see Keith Haney right there. Big deal right here for Keith Haney. Haney was the only driver not to qualify. It was 18 trucks that started. 17 of them started with time, or actually put down a time. Haney, the one you're riding on board with here in the 67, he did not put a time down. And now he's went all the way from 18th all the way up to 6th here in 34 laps, Dean. So Haney's really starting to move through the field, and he may end up getting him a little top 5 when this thing's all said and done. But, Dean, like you were talking about, when's everybody going to pit? Like I said, I would say give or take around lap 40, unless we get a caution right here. We get a caution right here, everybody's going in, and the strategy's out the window. But I think if we get to that lap 40, at that halfway point, that's when you're going to see drivers start to ease. More and more and more drivers start to ease down pit road.
Pink Machine 67 got the job done. I was just wondering who it's on James Goshen's lid on the front of the car there for a second. I can't see exactly. What is that a picture of? It looks pretty neat, actually.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at that right there. Matter of fact, I'm actually looking at it, trying to see what he's got right there on the hood. What is that, the Grim Reaper? Looks like it's the Grim Reaper a little bit right there, Dean. Not real sure.
At the back,
maybe we can get with Goshen right there. Maybe we can maybe holler at him if we get a caution or whatever. Might talk to him. But it doesn't look like we're going to get a caution, at least right now, Dean, which is good because obviously the fans want to see some green flag racing. And one thing about that right there, I do want to talk about Keith Haney for a second because you talked about him with the pink car. Haney running that pink car, obviously, or everybody within the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, if you watched last season with the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series, me and you were talking about the pink animal. Keith Bradley, who won the championship, the second championship for the Friday night series. Matter of fact, Keith Bradley will be the guest this week on the Door Banging download on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Now, we've actually went to Apple as well, Dean. So Keith Bradley will be the guest or the beer buddy this week on that podcast. But just wanted to point that out. Considering you called him the pink animal and also Haney running the pink truck right there.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to that one. Welcome you on there, expanding on different platforms. So keep your eyes peeled on that one. Your ears peeled, actually, more than anything. Listen to it in your car when you go to work and all that sort of stuff. That's what a lot of community members do as well. Mike George, you just saw before, was unlapping himself as he was passing the pink machine. So those fresh boots. He knows he's got to get the pace on right. You know, make up as much as you can because you're still aware, of course, that the rest of the drivers in the top 14 positions will have to go down a pit road at some point, which we'll be debating. Being good to the green flag racing. It's because they're so spread out too, Jacob. You know, less likely to have collisions. Last night, Jake's gone in actually, Jacob. Last night there was a few racing incidents, a few cautions, but majority of them, Jacob, were just drivers themselves making errors, not really contact with other drivers.
Yeah, I mean, and nobody's perfect, obviously. We're actually seeing more drivers starting to ease down pit road. We'll talk about that here in just a second. But there you see Wilms, or actually that's Kaufman, Kaufman going down pit road right there, and obviously Timothy Wilms going down. But Jake Ellenson right there, you see him right there in the 27. Jumped into his pit box, sliding straight out here in just a second. Got the left side down. We'll see when he decides to gas up right here. I think he's actually going to stay down on the pitch right here, Dean, because obviously we remember Jake Ellenson, he slapped the wall coming off of 4. I think he's trying to get some of that damage fixed right now.
It definitely is, for sure, because it's a long stop. You've already got a few of the drivers have already come in and out on that one. That's going to put him down perhaps a couple of laps. Come out. No, he's definitely getting some repairs done. Why not? I mean, it could be the very last time. Peyton's coming in now, pit road. Oh, what was it? Was it? Did he slide into pit road getting into that one? I couldn't quite see. It was a strange angle.
Actually, Dean, I'm actually looking right here with Jake Ellenson. He may be getting some damage fixed, but he sped. He sped big time. So actually, Jake Ellenson is, or was, I should say, serving a black flag. And that's something you really don't want to do. Whoa, Kurt's kind of locked up the back end, almost ended up spinning it around right there, going into the pits. Trying to be very, very careful. Now Keith Haney's going to go into the pits. And Milliken's going to slide it around right there, going into the pits. No caution, though, as he is not on the racing surface. There you see Kurtz down on the pits, and now we'll see when Jeremy Gardner will decide to make that pit stop. He has not pitted yet, Dean, but, I mean, obviously he's going to have to make that pit stop, so I think Gardner may be trying to run a little bit longer, maybe try to run the long haul right here, and maybe has some fresh tires for later on.
Himself there and Craig. But they've got traffic to deal with on top of this, remember, as well. You've got cars coming out that have got some fresh rubber on, and they're trying to unlap themselves. It'll be a lot quicker. How much time is it going to be costing the likes there of Jeremy and Craig? And has Andy done the ultimate pit stop that he needed to do? It's about 14.8 stationary. That's about the average time that all the drivers have been doing. Take the tyres on. And he's got out. It's crucial for him to get out in front of these two cars as well. So he's got no traffic up the road. All he has to do is just set the loud pedal as loud as he possibly can. Try to get some basically qualifying laps in. And see if he can beat Jeremy to the pit road battle.
Well, I mean, Dean, obviously, I mean, I like the call right there by Kurtz as you see the 97, Johnny Cofield easing down pit road, but I like the call by Kurtz, obviously, because, I mean, this is going to be big for Kurtz because, obviously, he's putting down some serious lap times. Jeremy Gardner, he just ran a 31.8, and if you go and you look at Kurtz is running a 30.3. So, obviously, Kurtz is... We'll just call it what it is. He's literally hauling ass going around the racetrack, almost ended up slapping the fence from what I saw over here but a little bit. But Gardner, we'll see what he ends up doing as he actually is going to go down pit road. Got to be careful, don't speed. 45 miles an hour as he was able to get it down to 45 and not locking up. Caution! Caution is on the Speedway.
I caught at the end of the picture that he was the one next to Andy, I believe. We saw him so going loosey and he went into the apron. How's this going to pan out then? Is that going to be perfect for Andy? Because where's the pace truck? It shouldn't be even capturing the pace truck at the moment. So Jeremy's going to go in. Has this just compromised Jeremy's pit stop? This is going to be crucial here.
Not really. I don't think it will. No, I don't believe that it will. What this is going to do, obviously, Bontrager is going to have to pit. Brandon Wallace is going to have to pit. Obviously, James Gosh and a bunch of these drivers is going to have to make this pit stop as you see Gardner coming out. Gardner will stay on the lead lap, so I don't think it's going to jeopardize him too much right here.
There he is. You can see just on the inside apron. There's Jeremy. And they'll put a couple of cars in between as well. No, they actually won't because they're unlike pictures. Let's have a look at the accident as to what happened. I think, we saw this. I think I saw this just on the end of the pictures. You look at the car, it goes on the inside apron. And that's where it gets slippery, isn't it, there, Jacob?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he actually straddled the white line right there from the racing surface to the apron, which is something you don't want to do, obviously, because then that will end up causing that particular situation, just kind of throws it off a little bit. We see a couple of drivers going down. Bontrager obviously going down. Brandon Wallace is going down. Eddie Kurtz going down as well as Peyton Hubbard going down. So, yeah, I mean, and obviously I believe that the 42 of Jeremy Gardner, obviously he's going to be in prime position. He's not pitting. But Kurtz may be going down thinking maybe I'm just going to go ahead and get fresh boots, like you would say, Dean, because that would line him up perfect and get him right on key where the Jeremy Gardner folks. We're going to be right on key with some of our sponsors. Let you hear from some of them real quick. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Goat Locker here on the NASRA 360 Racing Network.
By the way, we're back, Jacob. I just want to quickly go over our schedule. We haven't had a chance to go through because we were just rushing to get all through. Well, we were perfect on time, of course, for getting the end of qualifying. There it is, of course, for the relevant truck summer series. Look at those next tracks we have.
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to have a great couple of races coming up. Obviously, there you see the Worldwide Technology Gateway going to be next week. And then, obviously, the Milwaukee Mile. Matter of fact, that is where the Veterans for Life ARCA Series ended their season this past time around. Obviously, Lucas Oil Raceway don't believe that they're going to be able to make that race, so they may end up making it up sometime, not 100% when that's going to happen. Obviously, iRacing had a lot of crazy stuff go down last week, and may end up being a beef on the door banging download this week. Never know. We'll see what happens. But obviously, folks, I'm the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves, the Australian Dean Biggles, up here giving you some fantastic camera angles, also doing a little co-commentating. And I mean, shout out to every one of you out there in the live chat. I see you out there, Jake Ellison. Speeding ticket for this guy. Race is over. Well, not entirely. Actually, yeah, well, you don't know, Jake. You don't know. You're one lap down. If you can get up there and get around Coalfield, Knights, Anthony, and Hollifield, you get a lucky dog. Caution comes out. You still got a shot. Green flag in the air. Gardner gasses up. Wallace up here. Brandon Wallace, 14th up to 2nd. Andy Kurtz, he might have got lucky with that caution, Dean. He was probably going to get freight train to get eaten alive with Gardner getting those fresh tires. This might have got Kurtz right back in the middle of this as Bontrager, our buddy, your buddy, trying to see if he can get it going, but Kurtz gets the run on the outside.
Fantastic there for driver Andy Kurtz, of course, and maybe just getting past Brandon Wallace at the moment. Bontrager, our pole setter, Mike George, still back in there in the P5 position, Peyton, Chance Taylor, so exactly as you said, and Jake was talking about our lap down, Johnny Caulfield and the rest of the field. You can see it on your telemetry, but they are still in the race, which is good. All 18 contenders are still racing, my friend. And as you said, Jacob, you've got to be in it to win it, my friend. With 29 to go.
Always got to be in it to win it back there. As you see George in a little side-by-side battle. That'll be Mike George with the 7. Peyton Hubbard down to the inside. Hubbard trying to see if he can get him a top 5 and maybe try to get up here and get him some of Bontrager. Wallace, Kurtz, or hell, even Jeremy Gardner. Hubbard still fighting on the inside. George sends it in very deep. Slides up a little bit. And wow, the outside lane is going to prevail this time by. Here we go. Bontrager trying to get a run. He's going to dive down to the inside of Wallace. So Bontrager may end up going for 3rd. George up his tailgate. George wants to see if he can try to get a podium.
Absolutely fantastic racing. I love it. You got to remember too, Andy's trying to apply that pressure on Jeremy because Jeremy's been leading almost every lap of this race since he got up past these drivers behind there. So he's just cool, calm, and collective. You don't want to let him run away. Andy Kurtz is well aware of that one. 29's loosey-goosey. That's Mike George. Oof.
Oh, holy hell. George kind of got a little loose off of 2. Slapped it up under the fence, came down. Hubbard almost hooked him and set him around. Now Bontrager almost slaps the fence as well. But Brandon Wallace putting a lot of pressure on Andy Kurtz. Kurtz trying to worry about Gardner. He may have to worry about Wallace when this thing's all said and done. Bontrager slides up a little bit. Here comes Hubbard with a run on the inside, but he's not going to be able to get the run that he wanted. Bontrager all the way down to the white line. Wallace is going to get kicked to the outside. Bontrager trying to go for 3rd.
Sticking to the inside apron. It's going to be sticking to it a little bit more because, yeah, exactly. You've just got Peyton at the moment saying, hey, you leave the door open, my friend, you're going to get burgled.
I'm sorry, do what now?
If
He's
you
going to
leave the
get
door
what?
open, you might get burgled.
Burgled.
Burgled, robbed. Burgled.
Robbed. Oh, burgled.
Burgled, yes.
Folks, we learn something new every day. We learn something. Folks, we learn something new every day. Burgled. Now we're getting somewhere. I'm telling you right now, Hubbard may end up burgling, I guess you could say, Brandon Wallace right here. George, who slapped the fence a while ago, he's going to try to follow Hubbard. He's going to go up into the fifth spot. Wallace trying to get the run on the outside. Hubbard slides up a little bit. He's going to put the block on Wallace. Wallace wants to go 3 wide, but George will not let him have it. George still trying to roll the inside. Wallace is going to slide up. Now George gets clear. He'll go to fifth.
Good racing. Andy Kurtz now getting closer and closer and closer and almost getting to the door banging, and not on the door banging download just yet, but he wants to be door banging Jeremy at the moment, that's for sure, because he's sick of seeing the back of Jeremy's truck, that's for sure. He's like, come on, get it done. And if you don't get it done, Craig's going, well, I've got 5 positions gained. Let's see if I can get the job done.
Oh, here he goes. Kurtz down to the inside. Gets a little loose going in, but he's still going to be able to get the run coming off of 3 and 4. Andy Kurtz is going to stop the dominance right here with Jeremy Gardner. Kurtz goes to the lead. Gardner, he's going to slip back into the second spot, drops back down, tries to get a run. He's going to get a run. Kurtz is going to slide up a little bit. Gardner's going to get a run and try to side draft on Kurtz. Maybe try to pull him back. Now they flip-flop from 1 and 2 back to 3 and 4. Gardner's going to retake the lead.
This is absolutely amazing. It's good racing. And here we go. Andy Kurtz, as I said, you've got to get a move on, my friend, because the number 49 machine's coming faster. He's got some relevant power on the front of that machine. That's not an engine underneath it. It's sound, relevant sounds.
Oh, man, this is getting good back here for second, and this is all Gardner really wants to see. He wants to see these guys fight like hell for that second spot. Bontrager down to the inside. Kurtz trying to pitch down Bontrager down on that white line. Peyton Hubbard back here with Mike George, both of them in a side-by-side battle. Gardner damn near looks like the pace car compared to Kurtz, Bontrager, Hubbard, and George. They're 2 by 2 right behind Gardner, and Gardner basically just playing, like I said, a pace car right now in front of these 4.
He wants to... Oh, 7's in the fence, isn't it? Yeah, that's Peyton. Uh-oh.
And that will be a caution right there, Dean. Him and George got a little bit of contact. George got loose coming off of turn number 2. Slid down right into Hubbard. Incidental contact. And Hubbard goes head on into the wall. There you see George get a little bit loose. Hubbard probably thought he was going to stay up a little bit, but George was already getting loose coming down the racetrack. And there you see Hubbard straight into the wall. I said head on, but more or less was head on. Hit it with the left front. And looks like that Peyton Hubbard, and yes, he does have a meatball flag, so Peyton Hubbard's night is over in an instant right here, Dean.
Exactly. You can see. Oops, just close your eyes at the moment, boys and girls. There, you don't want to see under his engine area. Oof, that does spice things up a little bit. You know, cautions breed cautions, don't they? But we did have some really fantastic green flag racing between all those gladiators at the front. Now, what would you do, as he's going to get it, what would you do with the rest of the field here? Would you jump into pit road, which will go back to the live pictures?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they are. Yep. Yeah. Question answer.
Yes, absolutely. Everybody's going down pit road, get 4 fresh tires, send it back out there. You may see some back here in the back. Maybe try to see if they can advance up a couple of spots. John Anthony's actually going to get the lucky dog, but I mean, that's it, literally. I mean, I don't see anybody else. Jake Ellenson actually is going to stay out on the racetrack. Go ahead and take that waiver out. I believe Johnny Cofield's going to do the same thing, as well as Matt Knights. So all those drivers, everybody that was a lap down or the lucky dog, they did decide to stay out and take that waiver out as every single one of the leaders come down. And there you see Gardner and Kurtz basically in synchronized motion. Both of them go in at the same time. Both of them come out at the same time. As we see out there in the live chat, Bontrager, Colin Bontrager, bring in the whiskey, son. I may have to go get with Colin real quick. Let's go find Colin real quick. Let you hear from some of our sponsors. I got to get me some of that whiskey. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Starbase 1552 Comics. We sell everything a collector would want. Comics, Funkos, action figures, and so many more. A real American comic book shop. We are online only. Starbase 1552 Comics. Find us on eBay Auctions.
We don't.
Live, my friend. Welcome back.
We are back here at Texas. There you see a couple drivers going down, making some pit stops right here. We see John Anthony. He is going to go down. Obviously, he was the lucky dog. So he's going to go and get those 4 fresh tires. Obviously, he can do that. Saw Mark Hollifield still parked on pit road. Matt Knights right now probably would be praying for a caution because obviously if a caution comes out, he's going to get the lucky dog. Honestly, Ellenson and Cofield are praying for a caution as well because they'll be able to get back into the spot right here, see how all this plays out. But it's going to be a battle up here with Gardner and Andy Kurtz. And then we haven't talked to any of the drivers, see if we can actually bring one of them in right here. And we're going to bring in basically your leader right now, if we can grab a quick word with Jeremy Gardner, Big Daddy, up here in the booth. Gardner, Jeremy, you've been looking fantastic here tonight. You got one guy from what we're seeing that you got to deal with right now, Andy Kurtz. What are we thinking right now?
That's what I was kind of just thinking in my head right there. Do I want to try to be easy on my tires? I just want to send this thing with 15 to go, but at 15 to go, you kind of have to send it. And he's been strong all night for sure. He reeled me in there for a little bit on that first run before the caution. I just started taking it easier on my tires, but we might get another Atlanta finish tonight.
Baby, we would love to see that, Jeremy. We'll go ahead and let you get back at it. Appreciate your time. Good luck the rest of the race.
Appreciate y'all.
That was
Yeah,
Jeremy
Jacob,
Gardner right there. He
isn't
sounded
it-
like he's ready, baby.
Yeah, and this is the battle of the 42-24, and of course they flipped, aren't they? Again, with these two gladiators going for it in the arena, and you knew that one before. And we'll bring, as I said, that's the thing that when it was Jacob out there, Jake in the chat there saying, well, my night's over because we got the speeding ticket. Not necessarily, because now he's on the lead lap, as well as Johnny. It's only Matt Knights and Mark Holyfield, of course, if those heavy repairs might not come back out. But, Jacob, if there's a massive wreck at the front and you just go and whizzing on by, if you hand out the window, cool, thank you, there's a couple of places done. Hey, you never know. You can get a podium or even a win.
We'll see how that works out. I do want to make a quick correction. Peyton Hubbard did get the EOL, so he was the cause of that last caution. Apparently, Hubbard did come up. I went and looked at it, and Hubbard did come up, so my apologies to the Mike George fans. As George sitting in third, he's now going to go to second, green flag in the air. We were talking about Gardner and Kurtz, but Mike George, I might have pissed him off a little bit, Dean. He may have something for Jeremy Gardner right here off of turn 2.
You got to remember, the man put the car on pole, so he's got the pace. That's for sure. There's nothing denying that. At the moment, he's going to hold off Andy. He got slipped past Andy, of course, but then Andy wanting that one back. And just as you heard before from Jeremy, this is a 15 to go. He said he can't afford to lift off anymore. It's pedal to metal.
Yeah, it is straight up pedal to the metal as you see him 2 wide right there for that second spot. George up top, Kurtz on the bottom. Right behind him, you got the pink truck. Keith Haney, I almost said Keith Bradley. Obviously, the pink truck kind of looking like it is on Friday nights. Now, George dives down to the inside. Kurtz tries to throw the block. Haney may have something to say about all this. Brandon Wallace is up here as well in that top 5. But it is a straight-up slugfest right now for that second spot. Kurtz trying to hold on. George and Haney, they want it.
Haney would be, the Haney is probably going to get the driver of the day anyway for the pink machine, starting 14 positions down. And he wants 15. He has to get past Mike George. And then Jeremy, of course, wants to continue to lead this race. But look at the pink machine, the pink animal. He's going for it. He's the new pink animal in town. Jeremy got the fastest lap on that one, so he's really pushing it. You can see him up the road there. Is it enough? Has he pushed it enough? Can Mike George get past Andy now? 12 laps to go.
We'll see if he can get there. I mean, Gardner, obviously, he's got the literally pedal to the metal and the thing to the floor, as Sally Field would say in Smokey and the Bandit. But I'm telling you right now, Kurtz has got the same thing going. George has got the same thing going. Haney's got the same thing going. See a little bit of battling back here with Chance Taylor, Gosh, and Milliken back here. Now you see Timothy Wilms up here. Check out this hornet's nest back here with John Anthony. He just got the lucky dog, got back on the lead lap. He's trying to get up here and get him some of this as well. Everybody fanning out a little bit. Kaufman gets in there. He's going to turn Jeremiah Holt, but no caution yet on the Speedway. Now Holt's going to slide up, and Ellingson gets into it.
Oh, taking a little tap on that one. Where is... there's Jeremiah Holt. Well, this definitely going to spice things up now, isn't it? So we're going to bunch them all back up there and restack them and re-rack them.
Wow. A little bit of contact sliding in there. You see Kaufman comes in, gets into Holt, turns him. Holt tries to get on the binders, tries to get it straightened out. Hubbard got on the binders enough, didn't get into Kaufman. And then unfortunately, Jeremiah Holt comes right down in front of Jake Ellenson, slams him up into the wall. So Ellenson, I have to fix a little bit of damage right there. And Dean, there may be some beef going on right there between Holt and Kaufman. You see Holt coming back, trying to get back, line back up with everybody else. And we'll see who decides to go down pit road. It's 10 to go, 9 to go next time by. We'll see who elects to go down. I believe Ellenson and Holt, both of those drivers, will elect to go down pit road. We'll see if any of the leaders decide to do it. Gardner fakes it out. Gardner fakes it out. Nobody else going down pit road right there. Only had a lap on what they had. So Ellingson will go down pit road. Johnny Cofield going down pit road. Jeremiah Holt going down pit road. And your lucky dog will be Matt Knights in the 64s. So 17 drivers, all of them that's out there on the track with the exception of Mark Hollifield. Matt Knights will get that lucky dog, get that free pass, and get back on the lead lap and leave 17 drivers to fight it out right here, right now, after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We are back here at Texas Motor Speedway with Goat Locker with the Relevant Truck Series here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. I'm the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. Dean Hopton Biggles, the Australian, up here giving you the fantastic camera angles, the co-commentating, all that good stuff. And while we got a quick second before they get back green, I do believe the lights is going to stay on. They may end up faking me out. We'll see how this works out right here. Lights is going to stay on, so that is going to give us an opportunity to talk with another driver. And we'll go ahead and bring up another driver that's been on the door banging download here recently. May have had a little bit of that language going on the door banging download, but Jake Ellenson got him up here in the booth. And Jake, how's the truck? Because it looked like it was a little bit, I mean, you done what you could to try to see if you could get around Holt. How's the truck right now?
It's looking good. I still have my fast repair, so took that and we'll see where we can get. I'm on fresh tires. Everybody else has about 8 laps on theirs, and see what we can do and salvaging the night.
Well, I mean, Jake, I saw where you put in the live chat that obviously you got that speeding ticket for this guy. Race is over. Race ain't over, baby. You still got you still got some time right here to try to pull this out right here. Pace lights is still on, so obviously, I'm assuming y'all coming back to 2 to green. You still got a shot. You're on the lead lap. Chaos can happen right here in the last laps.
Yeah, let's just gotta hope to miss some of the last lap chaos if it happens. And like I said, just trying to salvage the night. You know, big top 10 would be the goal right about now.
We'll see if he can do it. Jake Ellenson and the number 27 here tonight. He's going to restart in the 15th spot. He's still got a shot. Jake, appreciate your time, and good luck the rest of the race, buddy.
All right, thank you.
as the Mystic Whisperers out there, wow, you're all the best. It's going to get wild. It's going to get wild, all right, of course, with 6 to go, I think, after they go around them again. What's wild at the moment I love about this track is the discotheque that you have with the caution lights that they illuminated around Texas. I wish they'd do it to a lot of the tracks, of course, but not all of them. Well, is this a privately owned track or not? I like Pocono and a few others are privately owned tracks, but Indianapolis, of course, is owned by Penske or something like that. I don't know. What about Texas? If this is a state-owned track or is it a privately owned track? I don't know. But get these caution lights and all this fancy stuff going because it just makes racing entertainment so much more exciting, Jacob.
I tell you what, I know who ends up owning Texas Motor Speedway, and any of you out there in the live chat, if you can tap in real quick before we get to the end of the broadcast, do a little trivia for some of you folks. Any of y'all out there know who owns Texas Motor Speedways? Throw it out there in the live chat. And obviously, Brandon Wallace typing it out there. Kurtz for the win. Brandon, I'm sure you hear the question. I advise you not to send the text in while you're driving, but we'll see how all that plays out. So who owns Texas Motor Speedway? Light it up out there in the live chat. And if you're right, we will confirm that here at the end of the race. But we still got a little bit to go right here. 6 laps to go. Green flag in the air. Gardner, he's going to get the jump. Kurtz on the outside trying to dive down. George gets into the grass a little bit, but he's able to get it straightened back out. Now, Gardner trying to get away. Kurtz trying to get away. George trying to get away from Haney. Haney's got to get a run. He may get Wallace to go with him.
This is 75, and that's James.
The yellow flag is out.
That's going to definitely bring out the other caution. Whoa! This is going to be crucial at the moment to navigate your way through this wreck zone. Because that's your night over, really, at this point. Unless you have a fast repairs, because we do remember some of the drivers do have fast repairs. So we'll have to go back and look at that one. Was that Bontrager there? That's also involved in this one.
I believe Bontrager was. There you see Goshen right there. Gets a little bit loose, comes right down in front of Craig Bontrager. There you see Wilms, I believe that is, in the 86. He tries to get on the binders, not able to do it. He's going to get into the back of Bontrager, sends him up the track. There goes Hubbard through it. There's the 23 of Jeremiah Holt. Watch this right here as Bontrager comes down, tags him in the right rear. Holt takes a hellacious shot head on into the turn 3 wall, and that will bring out another caution, the third caution of the event, if I'm keeping track and I'm getting it right. But we'll see how all that ends up working out right here. There you see Holt gets tagged in the right rear, and that's pretty much, I mean, you're literally on for the ride at that point, Dean.
That's when you got to be at the right place at the right time, isn't it? That's the unfortunate thing about it, like, because you can just be an unfortunate party to that one. You just got to point it forward there and just cross your fingers, close your eyes and cross your fingers and go, please, please, please. This is what I was talking to you about before, Jacob, because we were talking about in the green room about a bit of beef that you're having with the Monday nights racing because you haven't had so much luck there. And I said to you, Jacob, it's simple, my friend. Just qualify the car at the top of the timesheets, all right? Lead all the laps. And do you think Jeremy has to worry about a wreck behind him currently at the moment? No. He's fine. He has to just worry about if anybody tries to take him out from P2 or something like that, or a lap car. But aside from that, it's easy peasy with 3 laps to go, hopefully. Sounds easy, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, it does. I mean, it sounds easy, but, you were talking about the Monday night series, as hard as it is. I mean, it is hard because the competition's so tight. 9 ways to Sunday, everybody's just pretty much right there, pretty close. Which obviously when the talent level's right there the same, that's when you end up seeing everybody literally on top of one another, and that's when you end up seeing some wrecks. We'll see if we can bring in another driver real quick. And, hell, we talked to Gardner. We talked to Ellenson. Let's see if we can bring in the guy that's running second right now. Obviously, Gardner talking about maybe another Atlanta finish. We'll see what Kurtz has got to say about that. Andy Kurtz, we got you up here in the booth, buddy. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, what's up? Gotcha.
What is going on, buddy? Well, I mean, still got a little bit to go right here coming around this time. 4 laps to go right here. What's the game plan? What do you got to do to try to get around Jeremy Gardner?
Yeah, man. I was hoping I was feeling good with that last restart. Timed it well. The first one I was sleeping with Mike pushing Jeremy there, but kind of did the same thing again and got a good start. So I was hoping to see that keep going because I was right behind Jeremy. But yeah, it's gonna be tough to pass him for sure. So we'll hope to time it well here and hope it goes green till the end.
And I was going to probably save this for later, but I'll go ahead and ask it. A lot of drivers on iRacing, even fans. I spoke about this earlier on in the broadcast. As far as Texas Motor Speedway, because obviously there is a legacy version, which is the old school version, and then they've got this version, which is the updated and the right now version. Which one would you prefer, the old one or the new one?
I don't know. I'm kind of liking the new one tonight, but I normally don't like 1 and 2. All the new ones. I don't know if it's because it's a night race or because the truck updated or the track's updated or what, but I feel like every time we come here, it drives a little different, even on the same track. But I think I do like the 1 and 2 layout better in the old version.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Eddie. I mean, I like the new or the old version as well. So hopefully we may see that on a Thursday night series when the schedule pops up. I ain't seen it yet, but would be nice to see that. But Eddie, appreciate your time. Got a couple more laps. I got a feeling Jeremy was talking about this real quick as y'all are going 1 to green. Jeremy was talking that he thinks that we may be in store for another Atlanta finish. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Hopefully, it's the opposite finishing order though of Atlanta. So as long as that happens, I'm cool with it.
Andy Kurtz running second. He's got a shot to get the win here tonight. Andy, appreciate your time and good luck.
Thanks, man.
That's why you have to flip it around there, Jacob. As I said, it's like hold 42 up to a mirror. What does it look at? It turns into a 24. And by the way, thank you out there at the moment. Who got it? It looks like Ray got it. The city of Fort Worth. It's a Sports Authority is the owner of this track. So she'll get a Nasties, anything from the Nasties menu, of course, one of their sponsors, isn't it? A Nasties bar.
Absolutely. And also Speedway, well, I mean, SMI as well, Bruton Smith and Marcus Smith now, all those guys, everybody collectively in on that, owning SMI and owning the Texas Motor Speedway, just like they do with Bristol, just like they do with the Atlanta Motor Speedway, even Charlotte. So they got money. They got big money. So way more money than I'll ever damn make. But here we go. Restart. Pace lights is out. Green, white, checkered attempt number 1. Jeremy Gardner going to lead them to the green flag. Green flag's in the air. Mike George, he was ready to go, baby. He was giving him a bump draft right here on the start. Gardner catches Kurtz maybe sleeping a little bit, and George might have caught him sleeping as well. George trying to go for second, working her way off of turn number 2.
Yeah, this is it. This is go for go. Like, that's it. Don't even lift. Just absolutely plant it there. Yeah, and why defensive you even have to, my friend, to get it across the line, because you got 2 to go, almost turning into 1 to go. Jeremy should have this one covered. It's more about who wants a P2.
This is a hell of a dogfight back here for that second spot, but they will end up getting to the white flag, and there it is. The white flag here with the Relevant Truck Series presented by Goat Locker here at Texas. George able to get around Kurtz. He may end up trying to get a little run. May have something for Gardner, but he loses that run coming off of turn 2. Kurtz looks high, looks low. He will end up getting down to the inside. George gets kicked back to the top side, but Jeremy Gardner in the 42 comes off turn number 4. They door bank for second, but Gardner will get that win. Andy Kurtz gets second. Mike George gets third. Keith Adey from 18th to 4th, and Brandon Wallace from 14th all the way up to 5th.
Absolutely fantastic. Andy couldn't quite get it done. Had to hold off Mike George. What an inspiration for Mike George. Got a good launch in that last one, didn't he? We'll go back and look at those replays in a little bit. But we have to let the man celebrate another back-to-back win this evening. And Texas, my friend, is yours. Get yourself a Big Fish Barbecue award after that one as well, too. But brings it down. Job done.
Burning it down, Jeremy Gardner right here on the front stretch in the number 42 Premier Racing setup Chevy. There you see the results. Jeremy Gardner with the win. Andy Kurtz will get second. Mike George will end up finishing third. We'll be talking to those drivers here in just a little bit. Ironically enough, Dean, this is crazy. Gardner, he started second. He won the race. Kurtz, he started third and he finished second. And Mike George, Ironically enough, was your pole sitter. He finishes third. Ironic enough that the top three guys that started the race end up finishing. It's just in complete different order, I guess you could say. Keith Haiti, obviously we talked about him, did not qualify, started dead last on the field in 18th. He drives all the way up and finishes in the fourth spot. Good drive by Haiti. And Brandon Wallace also 14th up to 5th here this evening. Chance Taylor will get 6th. Sam Milliken will end up finishing in 7th. Peyton Hubbard had a little bit of an issue early on, or late in the race, I should say, and he will end up still fighting back to finish 8th. Timothy Williams will get 9th, and John Anthony up 6 spots. He will secure a top 10. James Kaufman will get 11th. Johnny Cofield will get 12th. Big loser, I guess you could say, for the night is Jake Ellenson. Wanted to at least try to get a top 10. He's going to fall 3 spots short, started 4th. He will finish 13th. James Goshen saw him spin out on that last caution. He will finish 14th with Matt Knight's 15th. Craig Bontrager, hate to see it for him. Bontrager had a hell of a run, and he was looking good here tonight. But unfortunately, we end up finishing 16th. He's the last driver to finish on the lead lap. Jeremiah Holt and Mark Hollifield, 17th and 18th respectively, multiple laps down. Folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Let me get a water because my throat's starting to get a little hoarse here, but we'll get us some water. Let you hear from some of our sponsors, and we'll be right back with your podium finishers. Don't go anywhere. Folks, we are back here at Texas with the Goat Locker Truck Series presented by Relevant. And we're going to kind of flip it right here. We're going to go from third all the way up to first. We're going to bring in Mike George, who gets third here tonight. He is the Big Fish Barbecue Pole Award winner. Obviously, got third here tonight. And got Mike George here on the NRA Power post-race interviews. Mike, tell us about your race, buddy, because, I mean, it looked like it was a hell of a battle right there between you and Andy Kurtz.
It was by far throughout this whole series yet this summer. This has been the funnest race I've had yet. The battling has been great. I have to give it to these guys, especially not just Jeremy, Andy Kurtz, but really a lot of the guys who've been running in the top 10. I've been learning so much from them. And it's probably their downfall a little bit because I catch on a little quick. But yeah, battling with Andy, that's it was bound to happen sooner or later, and it just so happens that Texas it's one of my favorite tracks. The new one, not the legacy, but the new one. Had a couple hiccups, here and there. I know me and Peyton, I'm not really too sure what happened there. I was kind of staying high, and I don't know if we both got a little loose, and he kind of just got into my left rear a little bit, try to stay off me without wrecking us both. But I want to shout out to him, apologize if anything was my fault. But other than that, just want to give a shout out to everybody racing. This was a really fun race. Obviously, the pole. I love the pole. I'm loving that big fish. And yeah, just taking it a race at a time, guys.
Absolutely, and taking it one race at a time. You done here at Texas next week. It's going to be Worldwide Technology Raceway, Gateway for some of us old school fans. How we feeling when we get to Gateway up in St. Louis, Missouri?
Oh, Gateway, guys. As you guys know, I kind of say this on every race. I'm fairly new to this, and there's a lot of tracks on here that I just haven't raced yet. But Gateway, I have turned a few laps, so I am looking forward to that. But it is roughly a new track for me, so there's going to be a lot of practice, and I always preach that to all the new guys out there: is you want to get good, practice, watch good guys, be patient, it will come to you, trust.
Well, I will say this. Obviously, Mike George saying that he's kind of new to this. He kind of drove like a veteran here tonight. Mike George coming home in that third spot. Mike, obviously, congratulations on that. And before we let you go, you got anybody that you want to thank? Sponsors, shout outs, anything?
I do, guys. First and foremost, before I get to the sponsors, I want to get a shout out to my fellow Romans here in Rome, New York. We have a devastating tornado this past Tuesday that came without notice. No, I live in upstate New York, so this is pretty rare for us to have something like this. So if you guys can just keep us in your prayers, I greatly appreciate it. As for our sponsors, yeah, Goat Locker, Jamie, Pat, Jake, all those guys. Second home to me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I appreciate it, guys, for giving me the opportunity. And I'm really looking forward to the actual trying out for the truck series coming up, the big event for Goat Locker. Nazareth 360, you guys. I remember that you guys broadcasted my first race at Richmond, and you had me hooked from there. So props out to you guys. Lincoln Tech, we got Invents. New one, Relevant Sounds, Jam Printing and Promotions, Cruising Classics, Indian Department of Veteran Affairs, Veterans for Life, as you guys know. Right Now Roofing, Alexander PCs, Sim Motion, Next Level Racing, and obviously iRacing. I wouldn't be here either if it wasn't for them. And that Big Fish Barbecue, my stomach's kind of full right now. I was kind of eating it as I was driving, so appreciate that, guys. And yeah.
Mike George gets third here tonight. Mike, you talking about trying out for the series. I'll say this much. You getting third here tonight. You can put that on your resume, make it look good for you when tryouts come. Mike George gets third. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week.
That was Mike George that comes home third here tonight. Obviously, the Big Fish Barbecue Pole Award winner. Now we'll go to the second place finisher. That's the 24 of Andy Kurtz. Andy, damn it, Gardner got you again. I'll just be honest with you, buddy. I mean, he got you again. I mean, what more could you have done to try to get around Jeremy?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I don't know. Like I was telling you, under caution, I thought I got a even better jump on that final restart there, but I think like George got a even better one than me. So being side by side with him and 1 and 2, just ran out of time, trying to race with him and get to Jeremy. But I think those were some of the best restarts I think I've ever really seen in iRacing. So we hopefully put on a great show. Had a lot of fun tonight. Truck was a blast to drive. It was pretty loose. Kept getting looser throughout the run. So had a lot of fun. We had a lot of green flag racing, and yeah, just really cool to see how competitive it is. And yeah, maybe one of these days we'll beat the 42.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, you talked about, it being a good show and everything else. I mean, from what you've learned here with the Relevant Truck Series throughout this summer, is this something that you can, I guess, basically say, is there what can you take from the summer series that you can put towards when the Truck Series season starts?
Yeah, I mean, everything really. I mean, it's everyone's gonna get better. So if I don't run this this is the only iRacing I'm doing right now is with these guys 2 nights a week. So yeah, this is just me practicing and having fun. To me, every race is the same. So and I've been having a blast. A lot of new guys in here that I haven't raced before. Jeremy being one of them. I know Mike ran with us last season. He's gotten a lot quicker since then. So awesome to be battling with him too. So just having fun and yeah, looking forward to I guess some of the seasons coming up after this, but no, this is just as fun as any.
Just watching the replay real quick here. The switcheroo right up on the inside to get Mike George.
Yeah, that was risky.
on the last
definitely.
couple of corners. Yeah, that the gamble paid off, my friend. But yeah, unfortunately, the one that got away is the one up the road that we'll speak to soon. But that's what I had to say. So.
Well, damn, Dane, you had to remind him of it, I guess. But anyway, Andy Kurtz comes home second here tonight. Andy, obviously, congratulations on that. And before we let you go, you got anybody that you want to thank, sponsors, shout-outs for making it possible?
Yeah, man. Yep. Appreciate you guys, Nazar 360, for putting on great broadcast for us. Want to thank Pat, Jamie, Jake for putting this on, putting a great season together for us over the summer. I want to thank Lincoln Tech, Invents, Relevant Sound, Jam Printing and Promotions, Cruising Classics, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Veterans for Life Foundation, Right Now Roofing, Alexander PCs, Stim Motion, Next Level Racing, iRacing, and Big Fish Barbecue for putting this on.
Andy Kurtz gets second here tonight. Andy, appreciate your time. We'll see you in St. Louis next week.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
That was Andy Kurtz. Now we'll bring in the winner, number 42. He's gonna be pissed off if I don't say it. Big Daddy Jeremy Gardner gets the win here tonight. Jeremy, first off, congratulations on the win. And honestly, you look like you were just straight up locked in from the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, man, for sure. Texas is kind of one of those tracks you got to get clean air when you can get it. It can be a very loose track. Especially with this new package they have on the trucks. They're on a long run on that first run. It got stupid loose once I got the tires going. So that was a hell of a race. Well, we had 3-4 cautions. I mean, that was a great race. I mean, Andy, Mike, they all ran a great race. That last restart though, I was trying to time that restart to where they would get side by side, try to race each other so I could get away from them. So
well, and Jeremy, I'll bring this up as well because obviously I raced in the trucks on in the Monday night series here on the National 360 Racing Network, and obviously the trucks kind of went through a little bit of an update not too long ago. Obviously, kind of threw everybody for a loop, I guess you could say. Do you like how the new deal is with truck? Obviously, I would think you would because you just keep on damn winning, but do you like how the new trucks drive as they are now, or do you prefer how it was before the update?
No, I definitely prefer how they are now. Before they were really just a draft package at most tracks. I know Las Vegas is definitely the worst track for trucks here. It's like a mini Daytona. This new package definitely requires a lot of patience. You wear the tires out, it'll definitely show you. You can get tight with them now. You can get loose with them now. This new package is 100% better than what it was. It definitely makes it more racy. It spreads it out. It depends on people saving their tires and all that stuff. So no, this is definitely 100% better.
Well, Jeremy Gardner gets the win here tonight at Texas. Jeremy, appreciate your time. And as always, here on the NRA Power post-race interviews, you got anybody that you want to thank for making it possible and getting the win here tonight at Talladega, or Texas. I'm sorry. The heat's getting to me, Jeremy.
Dang, you part of the Beer Buddies tonight?
Starts with a T.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
right
starts with a T. We're close enough.
Yeah, man. Pat and Jamie always. GLR, Jake, Lincoln Tech, Invets, Relevant Sound, Jam Printing and Promotions, Cruising Classics, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Veterans for Life Foundation, Right Now Roofing, Alexander PCs, Sim Motion, Next Level Racing, iRacing, Big Fish Barbecue. Y'all guys at Nazareth, y'all put on a hell of a broadcast every week, and I appreciate everything y'all do. And of course, actually, I forgot one. Premier Racing Setups, come grab you a setup. We put out the best setups on the server. You're guaranteed to win every single week.
Well, you are.
He does it.
I'll crack me a beer for my beer buddies over at the Beer Buddies chat.
There you go. Jeremy Gardner gets the win at Texas, not Talladega here tonight. Jeremy, appreciate your time. We'll see you at St. Louis next week.
Appreciate it. I'll see you there.
Yeah, Jacob.
That was Jeremy Gardner got the win. Go ahead, Dave. What's your take here?
Oh, speaking of the schedule, of course, yeah. But that was fantastic. I mean, of course, like good green flag racing means that you have to kind of think about your strategy a little bit more earlier on that we had. And then, of course, cautions breed caution. So once you get a caution, you back everybody back up there. And then there's chances of that. And then that strategy comes into play. And it's fun. It was good. And every race is always different. That's the thing, isn't it? You could have had like a ton of cautions early in the race, and they could have just flipped things upside down with other parts of it and so forth. But when you have these experienced drivers, and like I told you before, Jacob, as Jeremy's done, you go out the front, you lead it, you get the clean air, and then, you know, you can kind of control that race to kind of let the race come to you, and then the rest of the drivers have to contemplate what they want to do around you. Easier said than done, because you need the pace, obviously, there too. Not to say you don't have the pace, Jacob, but you know what I mean. It's that is just, that's it. But overall, and I'm babbling now, but it's good. It was good racing. I think everybody thoroughly enjoyed it out in the chat. Of course, we do appreciate it, but the chat. There's the schedule, my friend. WWT and Milwaukee Mile next.
Absolutely. I mean, there's 2 races left right here with the Summer Series. These guys put on a hell of a show here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway in the Lone Star State. They've done a fantastic job, and they always put on a hell of a show. So thank you to each and every one of the drivers for always giving us something to talk about, Dean, each and every Thursday night. So we appreciate Goat Locker and Patrick Drabick, Jake Ellenson, Jamie Barkis, everybody within Goat Locker for everything that they do. And shout out to each and every one of you out there, the fans, for just coming out in numbers each and every Thursday night and supporting your favorite driver, your family member, however you want to look at it. So appreciate all of you guys. And shout out to all the sponsors, obviously NRA Power for the post-race interviews, Lincoln Tech, Veterans for Life, Cruising Classics. Hell, the list could go on and on. Relevant for being the title sponsor for the Truck Series, and obviously Goat Locker for everything that they do. Shout out to everybody at the Nazareth 360 Race Network, Brody LaBeouf, Cody Knott, Wesley Outland on the Monday Night Series, Robert Hill Jr., William White, I believe it is. I mean, just everybody for everything that they do. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of people get into this stuff right here, y'all, and it's awesome to have great people around you, and it's awesome to be able to do this as well. For the Australian, Dean Bagels, I am the Redneck Announcer, Jake Reeves, saying as I always say, be safe, be kind, be fast. And y'all, we ain't going to Talladega next week. We're going to St. Louis, Missouri, Worldwide Technology Raceway. That will be Gateway here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network with Goat Locker Truck Series by Relevant. We'll see you there next Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.